right, your task was to compare and contrast two different articles looking at text structures within the articles. Both articles have a similar content. They focus on two young women that are teenagers that have taken steps to make change within their communities. So they were similar in content, but they had different text structures. So let's look at the article about Malala. We go through and we see that there's a lot of quotes from Malala's dad and from herself. And it talks about what happened to Malala after she was shot by the Taliban in her home country of Pakistan. So she goes through and talks about, her experience after being shot and her goals, right? So there are two text structures that really kind of fit this article. The first is description. We definitely see items being described from Malala and her father's point of view, and we can get an understanding of what they think and where they stand. So it's very descriptive. The other structure I would say would be cause and effect. We know that Malala speaks out and then is shot, and we know the effect of that is that she is now coming out and speaking for education for every child. She is going around advocating for women's rights to education. We know the effect of her being shot is she no longer lives in Pakistan from this article, that she lives in another area where she is safe because the Taliban still wants to harm her. So we know that there was a cause that Malala went to school and she was shot because of this, and then the effects are that she is now more than ever advocating for the right for women to have an education and stand up for the injustice that she experienced within her home country. The second article that you are looking at is about Marley, and she is an 11-year-old that had a problem. So this text is very clearly a problem and solution structure. It starts out that we know Marley felt that her book she read in school did not reflect her, right? She felt that all she was learning and reading about were characters that didn't look like her or shared the same experiences. So she had that problem and she told her mother about it. And then her mother told her to come up with a solution. And then we see the solution that Marley comes up with. And she established a drive called the 1,000 Black Girl Books. And the goal of the drive was to campaign to collect over 1,000 books and donate them to communities and school libraries. And so it's gone much further than that, as Marley has now been out and about talking with teachers and community leaders. I actually met Marley at a teaching conference in Texas and got to buy one of her books. Now she's actually published a book on how to make change in communities based off her experience. So this is problem solution. The problem that Marley faced was that she noticed that African American girls were not being reflected in the literature she was reading in school, and her solution was to start this drive to collect books and donate them to centers. So two similar articles with different structures of text.